What's up, everybody? How's everybody doing today? All right. We're making a video that's a little. It's in topic and it's off topic. It's not really something I planned on doing. This is more for my sanity than it is anything else. And I'll explain why. I get this question a lot. And I mean a lot. Okay? Who should I 6-star next? All right? And another question that I get is, does this monster have to be 6-starred? Okay, to do this job or to do that. All right. Now, I'm going to explain my method to my madness, everybody, because there is a method to all of my madness, all right? I'm going to first tell everybody my beginnings in Summoner's War, all right? When I first started playing Summoner's War, I opened up a few packs. Within my third or fourth week playing, I summoned Sigmaris, the Water Phoenix, okay? Just in case anybody asks why I have two of them, I summoned Sigmaris a week before, maybe 2 weeks before he was Fusion, and then a week after he was Fusion. I summoned the second one. So it's like, what am I going to do? Anyways, that's besides the point. So I went into the Water Dungeon. I farmed B6 for an entire day. I can't tell you how many times I refilled energy, how much energy I wasted. I must have wasted probably over 1,000 energy. And guess how many highs I got the entire day? One. I got one high the entire day. Okay? So the next week came along, and I farmed, and I did the same thing. And I did B6, and I farmed like a maniac in B6, and guess how many highs I got that entire day? One water high. Which also explains, I don't know if it's still like this now, but take a look at my water essences, okay? I got 681 low waters, 204 mids, okay? Notice how everything else is much lower, except for the wind lows. For some reason, I keep getting those. But look at that. 681 low essences. Like, really? This is from farming B6 for 2 weeks straight. Well, this was a long time ago, to be honest with everybody. But still, I ended up stacking up all of these lows and mids that I can't even get rid of them. I don't even have enough monsters to use them on to get rid of them. All right? So, I decided I'm going to take a break from farming any essences altogether. It was a complete waste of energy, a complete waste of my time. All right. So what did I decide to do? I decided to farm as much. Now this is before I even made a 6-star, people. Way before I even made a 6-star. All right. I decided to farm some giants. I think I was capable of doing like B4, B5 during the week. I decided to do my dailies, obviously every single day. Scenario boards, and I was leveling fodder. And I decided I'm gonna make enough 6-stars so that I can do B7 water. And that's what I did. Now, it took me longer to do this. Why? Because I didn't make the right 6-stars. My first 6-star was Rena. Okay? Like, really? At the time, in my defense, Rena was OP. She actually took me from like Fighter 1 to Fighter 3. I was getting some defense successfuls or a lot of draws, stuff like that. I used to have Rena solo monsters, solo teams, like some people had no healers on their teams and nothing but damage dealers, and they were all critting on Rena, and they couldn't kill my Rena, and eventually Rena killed them. But I still couldn't farm B7 water. Then I 6-star. Then I actually pulled, while I was making my 6-stars, I 6-starred Sig before I awakened him. And then I 6-starred Praha. Once I 6-starred Praha, now because of her big heal and a few other things I did, I was capable of doing B7 water. Now, what else did I do? Instead of using Kanamiya at the time, Sorry, wrong thing to show. Instead of using Kanamiya at the time, I was using Rebecca, the Fire Witch. Which, I was one of the people that was against using Kanamiya, Shen, and I used to make fun of people for using these monsters. And now, all of a sudden, I'm the one that's using them. Not only that, I'm promoting them. Okay? So I had a max skilled Fire Witch, but this skill went down to 4 turns. It wasn't 3. And she needed a high resistance so she could resist the stuns. She needed certain things. She really wasn't the greatest of options. I was better off with Kanamiya. Alright? But she got me far enough to where I was farming B7 water. And I was capable of beating it. B7 water, by the way, puts an unrecoverable effect. So that's why you need a cleanse in B7 water. And eventually I started making more 6-star monsters. By the time I had my 7th or 8th, I was farming elemental dungeons like there was no tomorrow. Now, guys, I know you're going to say, who's going to make 6 or 7 or 8 6-star monsters? Look, I don't tell everybody to make different monsters for everything. And a lot of the monsters that I tell people to make, they're useful in a lot of places. They're not just for farming dungeons. Okay? So the question is, who should my next 6-star be? If you don't have a 6-star, your first 6-star has to be a damage dealer. Any damage dealer you want, almost. Okay? Sig can do Timur 3, probably Hideni 5. And then the whole thing with Faimon Hell. Yes, Faimon Hell is the best place to do it. You get your best energy return. You get a lot of things from Faimon Hell. But, there's a big but. You need good runes to do Faimon 1 Hell. Alright? I don't do Faimon 1 Hell consistently. Because sometimes it takes a little too long. And then to top it off, if I sit there and I fail, I don't want to do it. All right. Now, when you're on a booster, time is of the essence with a booster. You don't want to get stuck trying to max out another 10 3-stars without a booster. Then it's going to take you another week. I might be over embellishing this, but whatever the case is. All right. So your first monster has to be a damage dealer, and you have to utilize your boosters. Now, they're giving 12-hour boosters for free every month. So every month, I forgot what day it is. It's the 18th day, or it's not the 24th day. I think it's the 18th day. I don't remember what day of the month it is, all right, that they give you the booster. You save up crystals for that booster so you can refill energy. There's no ifs, ands, or buts about this, guys. You use that booster. They give everybody a huge buff. Like a huge boost. All the free-to-play players got a huge boost just by getting that 12-hour booster. So you want to maximize that booster as much as possible. All right? So your first 6-star should always be, I'm going to repeat, I know I repeated myself 3 times, a damage dealer. All right? It could be Sigmaris. It can also be Tyron if he has really good ruins. I don't suggest Tyron. All right? It can be Kaz. I have my Kaz. He can't do Faimon 1 Hell, but he can do Timur 3 Hell. And I haven't checked him out on Hideni 5 Hell. Okay? It could even be him. He could probably do... I've heard that he could do Faimon 1 Hell. I haven't tried it. I'm missing a rune on him, so I can't show anybody. If you just so happen to pull Beth, it could be Beth too. She'll do Timur 3 Hell. She'll do Hideni 5 Hell. If you have Theomars, I don't see why not. He can do it. All right? Great all-around monster. He's capable of doing certain boards. He's just too slow. He has a self-heal. It just takes forever. It doesn't make sense to make him your first 6-star monster. It's just going to take way too long, especially with the 12-hour boosters they're giving out. And to top it off, right now during this event, I saw somebody get a 6-hour booster, which I'm surprised. I've never seen them before. I wouldn't mind doing a 6-hour booster just to level up some fodder for the hell of it. All right? The free-to-play king monster of damage dealers. Well, not king of damage dealers, but Free to play king of farmable damage dealer. Like, extremely easily farmable and easy to skill up. All right. He can do Tamor 3 with 4-star violent runes. Attack, attack, attack. He will do Tamor 3 for you. No problem. Okay? I show this in another video. So I would definitely do him if you need him. If you need a damage dealer like that. If you have Hua, great. Wonderful 6-star to make. She will help you in dungeons. She will help you everywhere. Almost everywhere. Trial of Ascension, dungeons, arena, she will help you almost everywhere. B10 Giants, I really don't suggest her. There are some people that use her. Fine. To each their own. But Hua is a great monster all around. Alright? I used to use her in B10 Dragons. The only reason why I don't use her anymore is because she slows down my runs. But she's perfectly fine for B10 Dragons. Rakan, damage dealer. I showed you guys the other day. Tamor 3. Alright, those runes were a little OP. You can get away with using 4-star runes on Tamor 3 with Rakan. He boosts his own hit points anyways. Orochi, perfect example if you just so happen to pull him. Great monster. Great monster. I would suggest 6-starring Orochi first if you pulled him over anybody. He will take you so much further in the game. It's not even funny. Okay? This is not a first 6-star. We'll talk about Shannon in a moment. This is not a first 6-star. We'll talk about him in a moment. Look, if he's not awakened, I don't suggest 6-starring him first. All right? Because you're wasting your time getting the essences. Yes, fine. Also, for my story before about the essences, I've heard of people getting ×3 essences in B5. It is so rare. It's like hitting a jackpot. All right? And B6. It's really, really rare, all right? I'm telling you from my own experience. She is a good first 6-star. She's support and a damage dealer. You see that 878 base attack? She's a support monster. She has a higher base attack than most Nat 5 attackers. She's a really good monster to 6-star. I like her a lot for a first 6-star. She will take you places in the game as well. And that's pretty much it for the 4-stars as first 6-star monsters, all right? Now, your second 6-star, all right, should be a healer. Now, this is like a 60-40 split choice amongst the top players. Other people say support, other people say healer. It's 60% healer, 40% support. So this is your choice, all right? I usually suggest Bella as your second 6-star. Why? Because there is no wasted move on Bella. She weakens it's not a she. Bella Dion. He weakens defense. He has the seize ability to take away buffs from the enemy. And he increases the attack bar and heals the entire team for 30%. I 100% suggest him. Okay? And then your third monster should be a support monster. And this is where we're going to get into the next question that just drives me nuts. Do I have to 6-star Shannon? Do I have to 6-star Bernard to do this? All right. Technically, you don't. You don't. But it's up to you. Seriously, it's up to you. And I'm going to tell you why. All right? You need these monsters to obtain and make your other monsters more powerful. Your natural 5-star monsters like Rakan. Or even Vertihil. Or Beth. Or Sigmaris, or Tyron, or Praha, okay? Look, these are runes from Giants and Dragons. These are runes just from Giants. These are runes just from Giants, okay? You need these monsters to progress in the game. If you're farming B10 Giants, don't you think it would be better to 6-star the entire team and have a consistent 95 to 100% win ratio? Seriously now. I want everybody to think about it. I get the question all the time. Do I have to use Shannon? Number one. Do I have to 6-star Shannon? Do I have to use Bernard? Do I have to 6-star Bernard? Honestly, that question is like, whoa, you know what? Shannon should be 6-star. Why? Because look at her base hit points. Hold on, where is she? Look at her base hit points. It's 7,245. That's pathetic. But she has a decent little defense. She has a good attack speed. And her attack is actually whatever. It's not that high. It's not high, but it is what it is with her, okay? But all of her skills will benefit your entire team. Glancing hit, an AoE slow, an attack and defense buff, and then if you add despair runes on her, what do you call it? She stuns too. How could you go wrong? Honestly, how can you go wrong? Then, this question bugs me a lot, okay? Can you replace Kanamiya? And I got this question at the worst possible video I could have gotten this question. I'm not naming any names, it's just whatever. Somebody asked me if they can replace Kanamiya with Annabelle to beat TOA floor 100 before the reset when it was the new boss. Let me tell you something. That floor would not have been done without Kanamiya. You guys have to watch that video and see what Kanamiya did. It is because of this skill that floor was done with Kanamiya. And it's because of this skill that it was capable of being done as well. If I didn't have Hua and Verd, I wouldn't be able to beat floor 100. Okay? I would have to resort to doing it with Kanamiya and Beretta. Where's Beretta now? Where is Beretta? How come Beretta isn't showing up? Alright, Beretta might be in storage. Hold on a second. Guys, I'm winging the video. I don't rehearse my videos. Okay. So, it could have been done with Beretta. Okay? For this skill right here, to reset Turbulence. I don't have it maxed out either. It would have been even better if it was at a 3-turn cooldown. But, seriously, you know? But you can't replace Kanamiya with Annabelle when Annabelle's turn... Hold on. Annabelle only has the heal, and it probably goes down to a 3-turn cooldown, maybe 2. I don't know what it is. And she has it's a different kit altogether. You cannot get any better than this kit out of a 2-star monster. Do you have to 6-star him? No, not necessarily. If you have good runes, you can leave him as a 5-star, but they have to be really good runes. I stubbornly leave this rune on Kanamiya to show people that he is good with any shit violent runes. Stubbornly leave this rune on Kanamiya. Okay? I'm so stubborn, I won't even power up this rune. This is a Faimon rune. I got it from Faimon 1. Okay? Then this rune too. Alright, this one is not a Faimon rune. This one I probably got it from Giants and from Dragons. Alright? But I am so stubborn, I won't change this rune either. This is a Faimon rune. 100% Faimon rune. A 3-star violent rune. I am just that stubborn. And these are his stats. He doesn't need anything more than that. He does need some more resistance, and I'm being extremely stubborn by not changing this rune. But I'm being stubborn. I don't care how many people say my Kanamiya is shit, alright? I've had Karantha, the streamer, he's like, your Kanamiya is shit. I think he was happy to say that to me, and I was like, you know what? I don't give a fuck. I'm trying to prove a point, you know? Karantha's a nice guy. Check out his stream, by the way. I think it's twitch.tv/Karantha, but I think that's what it is. I'm not sure. But my point is, like, he goes to me, and he said it more than once. He's like, your Kanamiya is shit. I'm like, yeah, it is shit. But you know what? Those shit runes got me further with my Kanamiya than a lot of other monsters. So you know what? I'm going to leave the shit runes on Kanamiya. Alright? So, guys, I'm not giving you, like, 50 monsters to 6-star. Okay? I've given you 5 monsters with some alternatives if you got lucky with some 4-star pulls, alright, to farm B10 Giants. And then to farm B9, you can use a similar team. You just got to add Beretta, which Beretta is going to help you in TOA no matter what. So I would seriously fuse Beretta anyways, okay? And you go on from there. I understand it's hard to make a 6-star monster, and you want to progress. But you're not progressing with having all your monsters at 5-star grade. You're not at all. I also understand I have around 46 stars, but I use all of them. Seriously, I use just about all of them. The only one I honestly never used was him. I just made him. I have to start using him. I stopped using Rena, but she's worn out by now. She's put up her staff, and that's it. It's done with her. Okay? I stopped using her as well. I'm going to start using her because I kind of need her. I still use my Phoenixes. I still use Praha. Praha's on my defense. She's not coming off my defense. I use Tyron. I'm trying to find a better use for her. Him, I was using and I stopped. I'm trying to get new runes for him. I use him a lot. I still use him in TOA hard and normal sometimes, depending on what I want to do. I use her a lot. I use him a lot. I use him a lot. Him, I kind of stopped using. Whatever. It is what it is. I use her all the time. I kind of use him. I made him for a 6-star for a video, really. I kind of didn't need him. But I use him here and there. You know what? I use him for videos, really. Really, Rauk is like a video monster. I didn't really need to 6-star him. Alright, I just pulled him. There's no reason why I shouldn't have 6-starred him. That's a sin for not to 6-star in Nat 5. Okay? I don't care how shitty your Nat 5 is. 6-star him eventually. I'm not saying do it now, but 6-star him eventually. I use her. I use him. I use her. Him, I gotta find runes. I gotta find some use for him, but I used to use him all the time. I use him. I use him. I use her. I use her. I use him. I still use him somewhat. I use him as well, somewhat. And I'm such an idiot. I was using him in Guild Wars last week. He's missing a despair rune. I have to smack a despair rune on him. I'm looking for runes for him so I can start using him again, but I used to use him all the time. Her, she was, up until Guild Wars started, she was on the shelf just sitting there collecting dust. I finally got a use out of her. Alright? I use him all the time. Her, I made her for TOA hard. I'm going to be using her. He's on my defense. I use him quite a bit. I use him quite a bit. So there's only 2 or 3 6-star monsters that I really don't use or I don't need. Maybe 4. 5 tops. But I use them all the time. I make sure. This is the point I'm trying to make with everybody, you know. I'm trying to help you guys to not waste your time in making certain monsters, you know. It's just, that's the way it is. And Shannon and Bernard and Kanamiya are not a waste of time. All right? Can they be replaced? No. Honestly, no. In my opinion, no. They cannot be replaced, especially for certain things. They cannot be replaced. You can't get better kits than them. Shannon, Kanamiya, and Bernard. And then I'm going to give everybody one more example. Seek. All right? Can he be replaced by Aquila? I almost forgot about Seek. All right. The damage that Seek brings to the table, there's a lot of monsters that cannot replace that damage. Seriously now. There is no way you can replace the damage on Seek from a lot of monsters and the entire kit. Okay? He hits very hard with this skill right here. He hits about 8,000 to 9,000, mine personally, with this skill without defense break. When you put defense break, it's anywhere from 15 to 17. I really don't remember, to be honest with everybody. And then he does that twice with this skill. And then he buffs the entire team with this skill. Attack and crit rate. How can you possibly go wrong? Other people are like, why can't I just use Shannon? Because you know what? The crit rate buff is big for Arena. He's more of an Arena/TOA monster. I'll give you guys a quick story now. Alright? This is actually about another YouTuber, but I'm not going to say his name. We're just gonna talk about it, all right? We never met him personally, but we talked quite a bit. And he asked me for my advice one day. He's in a guild. I'm not even gonna say the guild that he's in, but he asked me for my advice one day, and he told me, he was like, I'm thinking about 6-starring the dark Hellhound. And I'm like, why? He was like, my entire guild told me to 6-star the Dark Hellhound for the DPS so I could get past, I think it was past stage 50 in TOA normal. It could have even been a higher stage. And I'm like, why would you 6-star the Dark Hellhound? He was like, because of the DPS and his speed. I'm like, dude, make Seek. He's like, what do you mean, man? Seek is so squishy and this and that. And I'm like, yeah, but you're going to benefit so much more from Seek. He's like, how? I was like, because he's going to buff your entire team. He's not going to just bring DPS just for himself. I was like, the Dark Hellhound, yeah, he's fun to use. I wouldn't mind making him for a side project, but he's not a monster that you need that you should use for Trial of Ascension, especially if you need him as a team monster. Seek is going to buff your entire team with attack and crit rate, and everybody's going to hit harder, not just him. So imagine having 5 monsters hitting harder instead of 1, you know? So he 6-starred Seek, and, you know, I don't know if he put it up on his video and said, thank you, Nickdagreek, or I don't remember. I think he did. But he also sent me a message, and he told me, listen, I beat this level because you told me to 6-star Seek. Thank you very much. You're the man. All right? There are reasons. There are methods to my madness, people. You know? I don't say something to try and, like, pull you towards something else, or because I want everybody to be like me, or because, you know, I want everybody to actually progress in the game. I want everybody to actually get somewhere in the game, you know. And I really, really, really hope that this answers a lot of questions for a lot of people, because I'm going to start linking this video instead of like answering the questions that are really getting to me, because those 3 questions really get to me sometimes. The 3 questions would be, can I replace Kanamir with Annaville? Can I do this, or can I do that, or whatever? Now, the only way Kanamir also can be replaced by certain monsters, like Veromos, is if you have Hua and Verd. Because Hua and Verd are going to allow you to take more turns, where Kanamir does that, and Veromos doesn't. But Veromos does remove the buffs, but he doesn't heal the entire team. So having Hua and Verd is more of like a higher end team with Veromos. Yes, it's a better team. Obviously, it's a better team. Of course, you're going to use this team. But you still need Kanamir to progress. You still need him. All right, you're not going to summon Veromos, that's for sure. So even making a 5-star Kanamir is perfectly fine. So, guys, I hope this answers people's questions. You guys want to call me an asshole or a jerk at the end of this video, that's fine. At this point, it's like, I just want to answer these questions. I just want to answer this question so people can understand the method to my madness. And have a good one, everybody. I'll talk to everybody later.